Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg.
My name is Bryce Rensburg. I'm the Chikara Senior Official.
This is April Hunter from AprilHunter.com.
I'm Bobby Ches, a three-time world champion, Showtime expert analyst.
This is Coolio with the Flow, a.k.a. the Ghetto Gourmet.
This is Dan the Beast Severn, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history.
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. That's right, WWE Hall of Famer.
This is Jeff Damon from Deadliest Warrior on Spike TV.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the three-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrapper and Anna Pierce. And just like you, I am also locked in. And, brother, we are beyond ringside.
Still plugging stuff up at the last second. Gee, what a surprise. Greetings. Good evening. How you doing? Welcome to Beyond Ringside Back to Basics, where everything is on the table and nothing is off the record. 3 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour, the Central Time Zone. Thank you to everybody tuning in this evening through BeyondRingside.com, through the Beyond Ringside radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry products, through the TuneIn mobile app, available cross-platform, as well as Ustream Mobile. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. All systems are up and green light operational. Loaded lineup tonight. We're going to have some fun. In just a few minutes, slated to be joined at the bottom of the hour by the Reflection of Perfection, Tyson Dean, pro wrestling star, coming on board with us in just a few minutes. And at the top of the hour, going to be joined by tag team partner on the Saturday Showcase, Shane Noles, and professional wrestling legend, the Louisville Slugger, Jim Cornette, right here on Beyond Ringside Back to Basics. Really looking forward to it. We're going to have some fun tonight. Got a couple of things I'm going to hit on right off the bat, so let's go ahead and get launched straight into it. By the way, chat room will be open all night at beyondringside.com. Matter of fact, zooming over that way to check it out right now. I'm going to run these in light speed because I want to cover as much as I can in this 25-minute segment. And I know that I'm going to be stepping on toes. Number one, to everyone who has been catching the matches that I managed to upload from the Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment October 25th show. First off, thank you. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Myself, Corey Champkin, Smart Rage, we were set up off to the side, and we had just enough of a camera angle to where I could catch the majority of what was going on in the ring. I've managed to upload the Tommy Dreamer and Moose versus Murder One and Iceberg match. The majority of that stayed on our side of the ring, and I'm very thankful for that. Also uploaded the Jimmy Ray versus Davey Vega match, and just managed to upload the Ashton Starr versus Kiera Hogan match. Those are the main three that I've been able to work with. Now, I take my camera everywhere in video. It doesn't matter where it is. If it's my home promotion, Global Championship Wrestling, if it is Peachstate Wrestling Alliance, for I'm very thankful for the alliance that Beyond Ringside and that I have with them, as well as Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Anywhere I go, normally that camera goes with me. I don't, however, upload matches unless I have permission. I do everything that I can to make sure that I stay inside the confines of what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it. If I'm asked to not upload something, or if I know that they have a DVD release, their own YouTube channel or iPay-per-view, I'm not going to step on their toes. I've got a ton of footage over here in studio, but because of the factor of different things involved, I don't release the footage. Regardless, I'm not going to compromise the integrity of business for any promotion with which I'm affiliated, that I work, that I go to. Josh Wheeler actually asked. Now, he knows that I video anyway, but he also knows my policy. He also knows the way that I handle my business. Out of respect, I normally don't unless I'm asked to. Well, Josh saw the fact that I was videoing, is like, good, do me a favor. Can you make sure to catch these matches for us? It's like, dude, no problem. You know me. So, like I said, that is why those matches have gone up. He gave me the green light. So, and you know, in typical Fast Eddie Lane fashion, that's where all the graphics came from. So I want to make sure that everybody knows, by the way, to everybody who did make it out to the quad for this past Sunday night, November 1, want to remind everybody that AWE will be returning on Sunday, November 15th, as well as Sunday, November 29. They got a lot of things going on in Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment for our friends in the Peach State of Georgia. Now, allow me to go ahead and do this. I'm going to put this disclaimer. They do run an edgier show, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. So it's not going to be PG. Get that out of your head right now. But the talent that they bring in to work in ring is definitely worth the trip, worth the drive, and worth the money. So if you get a chance to, like I said, it's at the Quad, 714 Spring Street, Atlanta, Georgia, Sunday the 15th of November and Sunday the 29th of November. Definitely give them a chance. Check them out. If you haven't done it yet, damn sure make it a point. The Quad is a cool little venue. I dig it. I really do. I enjoy going in there. And the first time that I was in there where Josh had us set up, it's like, how are we going to keep from bodies flying in our direction? It came close. Hell, it came close at the Masquerade show back in October. But you know something? We escaped. I escaped. The equipment escaped. All the way up until the time the jackass who was taking care of teardown at the Masquerade for the Masquerade pulled the plug on the power and we lost the audio files. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Okay, that part done. Chapter 2. I'm really kind of curious to see how they play this out heading into the Survivor Series, because with them holding a classic 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup last night on Monday Night Raw, how is that going to affect the overall momentum for a match of that ilk at the network per-view, the $9.99 per-view? You can't call it a pay-per-view anymore. You really can't. I mean, yeah, Ring of Honor does one. They don't have a network. Therefore, it's going to be on traditional and satellite. Guess what? It's a pay-per-view. It's a live network event. But we've gone through this. We really have. Hey, look, I appreciated the fact that they did a 5-on-5 last night. I'm uber cool with it. I just wonder if they're actually going to be able to give something as good on the Survivor Series network show itself. That's my main thing. Do you want to put something on Raw that you can't surpass on your big show? And that's one of the things that I actually am very curious about, because I pay attention to what they do. When I'm able to really watch it in depth, it's like I watched most of Raw last night. And it had some good moments. Like I said, going through the 5-on-5 match, I think they played that right. I think they played it smart. One of the other little things, well, not necessarily little, I think it can be a marquee matchup. I like the budding rivalry between Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Breeze is like Ziggler 2.0 to a great degree, because with the exception of the damn selfie stick, minus 10 man card points. Legit, serious, real. No more. Or we may suspend him for 2 races. I'm going to get to that. I like the character. I've liked him ever since he was in NXT, and I like the fact that he's coming up to the main roster, and I really appreciate the fact that they're putting him with Ziggler. I think it's a great contrast to very athletic individuals who can go. I think Ziggler and Breeze play well together. If you've watched the way Tyler Breeze's character has progressed in NXT as he makes the move to Monday Night Raw, to the main roster product, it's genuinely, and I mean genuinely, this is one of those cases where if Tyler Breeze would have been around back when Dolph Ziggler was true heel, Breeze and Ziggler would have made a great team. How long, I don't know. I think they would have made an effective team. From that vantage point, I think the contrast yet similarities which exist amid and amongst and between Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze, I really think that's going to make for a good series of matches when the two of them finally really get it going. By the way, let me come back over to our YouTube feed for a second there, because a lot of people know that I have my own personal youtube.com/FastEddieLane. The show itself is youtube.com/Beyond Ringside. I do put a number of shows from our system up there. BR Live, Back to Basics, Saturday Showcase, To Be Determined, Wrestle Rage, Midnight Black Mass. They all go up there. And I'm very proud and very happy to announce, here's your scoop for right now, that Cause and Effect will be returning to Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. I want to say a very heartfelt thank you to Robert Cosper, to Stuart Couch, The Cause, The Effect. I've always felt they have a very, very entertaining show. I think that Stuart is funny as hell and Robert is creative as hell. I feel like I should be doing a Jeff Dunham character voice when I talk like that. But in all sincerity, to catch Cause and Effect, now they do have a Facebook page with some of their classic material on there. And some of their previous episodes are available on the media page at beyondringside.com. But I'm going to sit back and say this. I've had some great conversations with Kaz. I have not had a chance to really sit down with Stuart. But I'm really looking forward to hearing and seeing, because I understand they're going to do some stuff on video. They've got some new voices coming on board, and I'm looking forward to hearing about this. And like I say, I'm definitely appreciative of the fact that they're coming back to BR. I've been in conversation, and actually a couple of us here on the station have been in contact with some different sources. And I've left the door open for some personalities to return, close friends and all. I've left the door open for some new programming to come on board. And we're in talks. You may have heard a comment made by the Master of Malice, or the Brute, Mark James, one half of the Brutes, on a recent episode, that he is a part of a new show right now that is currently running through Blog Talk Radio. Well, we're working to get that one syndicated over here on BR Radio. Now, I get ribbed every once in a while because I will pick on Blog Talk Radio. And we were there. We were on BTR. But the quality sucked back then. It was horrible. I'm trying to keep this safe for work. Trust me, kids. Blog Talk Radio was just horrible at the time. And, hold on. Yep. Had to press a button. I've heard some of the advances that they've made. Look, BTR at one point sounded worse than AM radio. I'm just going to lay that on the line. Would we be tempted to re-add Blog Talk Radio to the way that people can listen? I would be tempted if the situation presented itself in a proper manner. I have way too much fun doing what I do over here for the Beyond Ringside station and for the network. We've got some new venues that are coming on board as far as ways that you can listen to us, brand new apps that are coming on board, including we may be adding an app through Spreaker. So we may be going live through there as well. It's an upcoming thing. We're going to play that by ear and see what happens. So like I said, I want to come back over to the BR YouTube thing for a second there. It's really kind of a tough animal. Now, I'm going to hold on that. I'm going to come back to it in just a little while. But like I said, we've got a lot of things coming up in the near future and a lot of exciting things going on. I made the joke about being suspended for 2 races. Welcome to part 1 of my side of the coin. NASCAR leads. See, I was originally going to make this the lead story, but I didn't want to get too hyperactive and too ticked off in the first minutes of the show. As it stands, as of earlier this evening, it was released on NASCAR.com about 3 hours ago, maybe 2. NASCAR suspended Matt Kenseth for the next 2 Sprint Cup Series events for his role in a crash with Joey Logano late in Sunday's race at Martinsville. NASCAR officials issued no other penalties to the driver. However, they did put him on probation for the next 6 months. I will sit back and say this. I understand that Kenseth and Joe Gibbs Racing is going to appeal the penalty. They're going to challenge the severity of the penalty. I agree with the factor that they feel it's inconsistent. I feel it's inconsistent. As far as it goes, I'm very opinionated when it comes to Roger Penske's daughters driving. The Duchess and the Princess, the Duchess and the 2, and the Princess and the 22. I said this before, I'll say it again. Now, I'm not a big fan of this situation. I'm really not. And as far as it goes, that's all I'm going to say at this point. And I'm going to play dumb for the rest of the night. I really am. I'm going to play dumb. My side of the coin comes out of Monday Night Raw, where 2 individuals can't quite seem to figure out what the hell they're doing. Open notation, and yes, I'm going in this direction again, God help me. To Brie Bella, to Paige. This is titled, If You're Gonna Be a Heel. Everybody wants to ride that wave of being a cool heel in this day and age. The reason why a lot of people love Kevin Owens is because of the fact that Kevin Owens is a damn heel. He's not trying to be the cool heel. He's trying to be a heel. He's trying to be an antagonist. That is why he is so popular right now. Because he's being true to the character in which he's given. Whereas you've got Brie Bella in the middle of a 4-way match last night doing that, what the hell, I don't know, Brie mood! If you have to scream that you're going into Brie mode, what were you in for the first half of the effing match? You're screaming this in the hopes of getting a pop from the fans. You're a heel. You don't try to get a pop from the fans. You try to get heat. Brie mode does not draw heat. Brie mode is your little babyface war cry. And if creative is not smart enough to realize that, if you're not smart enough to realize that, get the hell out of the business. Go be a cheerleader. Then you can try to go for the pop all the time. You can try to get the crowd behind you. That's what cheerleaders do. Cheerleaders try to elicit a positive reaction from the crowd in attendance. I'm not being derogatory to cheerleaders. Not in any capacity. But yet, once again, we're faced with a situation where Brie Bella and Nikki Bella can't quite seem to make up their mind what the hell they want to do. If you're going to be a heel, be a heel. Live it, breathe it, understand it, learn to love it. Be a damn heel. If you want to be a babyface, go to creative and say, we need a face turn again, even though that will give you more than The Big Show, than Kane, than Mark Henry, than Elvis and the Beatles combined. I will say the same thing to Paige. If you're gonna be a heel, live it. Your "this is my house" scream, once again, that is not a war cry to get heat from a crowd. What is it? It's what you said when you were facing AJ Lee, when you were babyface and AJ's heel. Plain and simple. There are individuals, and this has been brought up on all the shows here on the station, all up and down the network. Heels are afraid to get heat anymore. On this level of professional wrestling, a regional or localized level, heels are supposed to be heels. You're supposed to be the antagonist, the villain, the bad guy, the bad girl. You're supposed to be the one that people boo. The babyface in the crowd, and this is where the whole thing with Stone Cold and everything around that timeline blurred it again. And we're all still paying the price. Let the protagonist be the protagonist. Let the antagonist be the antagonist. The world of professional wrestling was based in the original concept of good versus evil, regardless of how Vince McMahon has whored out that concept. Legit. We have to get back to our roots. We have to get back to the basics. Plain and simple. When it all comes down and everything is said and done, NXT, they've got it right. They have that dividing line. Look, I remember one of my favorite moments in pro wrestling, in sports entertainment, was a couple of years ago, the night after WrestleMania. Alberto Del Rio was supposed to be the protagonist in a situation in ring. Dolph, AJ, Big E were supposed to be the antagonist. ADR was supposed to be the Exactly. You can quit rolling your eyes now. But as far as it goes, let's put the world in proper perspective. When Ziggler's music hit, for him to come down and cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, there was no roof left on that place. But the fact of the matter is, Dolph Ziggler was supposed to be the heel in that circumstance, and the crowd would not let him. There is a difference between the crowd not letting you be a heel and you trying to be cool. Big damn difference. This is where I'd love to have Wick on here with me right now, i.e. the Wicked Nemesis. Because we could go around, we could have some fun with this statement. Because it's happening all over again. Look, the crowd boos John Cena and does the "John Cena sucks" because it's fashionable. It's cool to do it. Most people in that crowd are gonna end up cheering John Cena by the end of his promo anyway. The track record proves it. Right now, the epitome of the term cool heel is New Day. New Day. And remember one little thing, and longtime wrestling fans will concur with me on this. Put the world in proper perspective. Ric Flair, one of the greatest champions of all time, will openly admit one of the worst mistakes he makes is working babyface. Most of us will agree with that. Because most heels can sit back and say, the only thing that's changed is the face on the other side of the ring. And what locker room I come out of. Wrong. 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 Most heels, most antagonists, most villains, rule breakers, whatever you want to call them, When that flip occurs or the transition begins, things change. When the Road Warriors, look, the Road Warriors at first were kind of like the Vision in the Avengers. Neutral. We're just going to whip everybody's ass. Put them in front of us. Then the line was made. They went heel. Okay, fine. And they were powerhouse heels. You could not stop them very often. Unless you're Jerry Lawler and Austin Idol. Truth. Go back and look. But when they became popular baby faces, when they became fan favorites, they became more vulnerable. The worst thing that you can do, regardless of how much money you draw, how good you are, is change. Announcers do it, commentators do it, refs make changes in their style, in-ring talent change things, promoters, bookers, owners, everybody changes. And if you're not careful how you make that change, it will be very detrimental to your drawing power. No matter how cool your t-shirts are, no matter how many posters you sell, if you're not careful, it will come back to bite you in the butt. It did it with Flair. Flair went back and forth. Lo and behold, he changed the way he did things. You could tell a slight difference in the formula and the way he sold. It happens to everybody. But nowadays, everybody, and Wick said it perfectly, and I echo the sentiment, everybody wants to be the cool heel. Well, kids, somebody's got to take the heat. Not everybody can sell a damn t-shirt or a bumper sticker or a mug or a foam finger. Somebody's got to be the reason why people pay their money. And folks, you know what I'm talking about on this. Fans as well as people in the business have to understand this. A true heel is a person that fans will come pay their money to see their ass get kicked. And believe me, this is true more than you know. A true antagonist in the world of pro wrestling can draw 3 times as much money, can draw 3 times as many people in as the cool heel can even dream about. We need someone to boo. We need someone to cheer. Not everybody can walk that tightrope. Why? Because if you put too many people on the tightrope, it's going to snap. And where are we going to be? On the floor. Bottom level, trying to crawl back up again. From this point, that is my side of the coin. Tell you what, going to go to the bottom of the hour break when Back to Basics returns. Slated to be joined by pro wrestling star, the reflection of perfection, Tyson Dean, right here. Hang tight. This is Back to Basics on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
The To Be Determined Show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find a Dream, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
$25 before the top of the hour on this Tuesday night thing, this third day of November. I cannot believe, 1 minute it's the middle of October, and the next thing I know, Halloween's over with, and I'm just sitting back and going, do we need to give the month of October a speeding ticket or give it a citation for premature emonthulation? I just thought of that word. I'm going to stick with it. I need to write this down and get it on Facebook because that way I have a timestamp. Fast Eddie Lane, live from Studio One, welcoming in longtime friend and very special guest, the reflection of perfection, Tyson Dean. Brother, how you doing?
I'm doing outstanding, Eddie. How are you guys doing?
It's been chaos, but you know something? You know me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's the story of my life.
Now, in addition to life changes behind the curtain, which, first of all, congratulations all over again. I do have to ask, how is the transition into fatherhood? Has it gotten any more smooth?
Oh, yeah. It's been the greatest experience of my life. Actually, Mom just brought him down. I just finished an hour of cardio outside, studying up on some tape, and she brought him down for me to give him a good night kiss and heading off to bed. So it's been awesome. Best experience of my life.
Now, in addition to, you've been all over the place. I'm going to ask you to bring everybody up to speed on where all you've been lately.
Wow. Been hitting Peachstate, Wrestle America, NWA Atlanta, Continental Championship Wrestling in Alabama, NWA Saw up in Tennessee, working on a few things. A couple things, one possibly overseas in the UK and then up around Oregon.
Good grief. Can I have your frequent flyer miles?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part.
Can I have your frequent flyer miles?
Yeah.
Hey, look, if there was such a thing as frequent driver miles, I think you and I'd be going neck and neck for those right now.
Oh, yeah. Brother, I've been racking those up.
I'm going to take you to task on one thing real quick, and it was my side of the coin from the previous segment, and the title of it is, if you're going to be a heel, finish that.
Yeah, be a heel. Don't try to play in between. Don't do the tweener thing. If you disrespect the crowd and you don't love them, then make sure they know it, and don't straddle the fence. Get on one side or the other.
I've made the statement before, and I said it during the previous segment, that the number one thing that we need in the world of pro wrestling is a true-to-life, bona fide, grade A, restaurant quality, not giving a damn about a cheer in the world, heel. Agree or disagree?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, totally agree. I mean, you've got to have, for the people to appreciate the hero, he's got to have a good antagonist. And too many guys, I feel like, are always out there worried about what if people don't like me and everything else. And I mean, at the point in time in my life where I've been in a heel kind of mood, I didn't really give a damn one way or the other who liked me and who didn't or anything else. I mean, the way I look at it, the promoter that brought me in got your money whenever you bought your ticket, and it's up to him for me to do what he wants and get paid at the end of the night.
Does it still throw you off a little bit, or has it ever thrown you off when you've been in a situation where you're being brought in to be the antagonist, and yet you get cheered? Does it throw you?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I just crank it up. I mean, I had that experience not too long ago where I was wrestling a guy and the crowd really wasn't getting behind him or the cheers weren't loud enough, so I grabbed him by the ears and put him over the second rope and just told him flat out, he can't hear your cheers. You either cheer louder where he can hear it, or I'll pull his ears off and throw them to you.
Nice. I will hope that worked.
Yeah, they got behind him.
Good. Now, I'm going to shift over for a second because I want to jump straight on into this. You have had a very unique, and I don't want to use the word relationship. I don't want to use the words running rivalry. I'm really skittish about exactly what word to put in that blank between both Sal Renaro and Al Getz, especially over in Peachstate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Finish up what you were saying.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it was Al. You know, I've said this nonstop as many times as I could be asked. He promised a lot of things. Hell, at the time, really, Al and his enterprise gained more from signing me than I did from being signed by him. I was the Peachstate Heritage champion. I was the NWA Georgia heavyweight champion. I was one half of the NWA Southern Tag Team champion, and had other titles on the horizon. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed here lately, I'm pretty naked around the waist. So that was really what got me fed up with Al. I mean, I was getting really irked with the fact that he would do something, or one of his guys would do something that was costing me wins and, really tarnishing my win-loss record. And then it all just really kicked off into, it started whenever Jimmy Ray and I had the hour-long Ironman match. And, I'm not that kind of guy. I mean, if you beat me, you beat me. I mean, no matter what. And it comes down to seconds, but Jimmy got me there into the hour. And for Al to get in there and especially put his hands on me at the end of an hour, I mean, that wasn't his place. I popped him there. I thought, he stepped over the line. I thought I brought him back on his side of the line. And then if he didn't pull it again in Barnesville after the match with Matt Hardy, and that was it. I was done. And ever since then, now he pulls his little, I guess contractually I'm bound to him, but
yeah,
that's what we're looking to settle Saturday night is he's laid it out there. He's got Sal. Sal's the top of Al Getz Enterprises, and I'm standing alone, and that's what hopefully I'll be free at last at the end of Saturday night.
Now, going back to the first part of October, where it was you and DP3, Donnie Primetime III, in a one-on-one matchup back at the fairgrounds.
Right.
And lo and behold, you had a situation where Primetime was starting to trying to place you in an abdominal stretch. Right. And lo and behold, out of nowhere, Getz throws in the towel under the pretense that the last time he saw you in a submission hold such as that, it didn't work out that well for you, so he figured he would save you the embarrassment of having to tap out?
Yeah. I think that was Al exercising one of his little, knowing he had the upper hand at the moment. I mean, there's no disrespect to DP3. I mean, Donnie's a good kid, and I like him a lot. I mean, no way in hell that kid beats me. We go out there 10 times, I beat him 10 out of 10. Unless you got Al Getz there to do something like he pulled. And I mean, to throw in a towel on me, I mean, he knew good and well I was on my way to thrashing Donnie. And that was Al's little way of keeping me, thinking he was going to keep me in check.
I was about to say, do you think that this is more psychological warfare than anything else?
Oh, absolutely. That's all it is. It was I physically can't control you, but I'll try to mentally beat you down, and I'll keep my thumb over the top of you. But I mean, maybe that's how I'll close out Sal Renaro Saturday night with an abdominal stretch. Shoot out a bird while Sal taps out.
which I've got to sit back and say this one also, because that same night after Getz threw in the towel and gave DP3 the win, and I do mean gave DP3 the win. I mean, look.
On a platter.
Yeah, platinum platter, much less gold or silver. I mean, he ordered you to stay at ringside and force you to watch Sal's match, which was immediately following. And my brain just went blank. I had everything in front of me a second ago, and it's like I was trying to remember. But lo and behold, he wanted you to sit. He's been calling you a preliminary wrestler. Dude, that's got to get under your skin.
It does. I mean, it's got a little sting to it because, like I said, going back to the start with Al, I mean, I held 3 titles whenever I signed on with Al. There's not a whole lot of guys that hold 3 titles, whether they be regional or whatever. I mean, it's still an accomplishment. And holding 3 at the same time, I mean, that was something I was proud of. It meant a lot to me. And for Al to call me a preliminary wrestler and put me out there taking notes with Sal and everything, I think that's in the end, that's going to come back and it's going to bite him, because the whole time, I've been upset, I've been angry standing ringside with having to watch Sal and having to put up with Sal's mouth. But I'm not stupid. I mean, I'm taking notes the whole time. I'm doing just that. I'm taking notes for the day that I get to put my hands on Sal Renaro. I've seen his weaknesses. I've seen where he might have an edge on me, but I know a lot of the areas I've got an edge on him. So that's one where all those psychological games are going to come back and bite him in the butt Saturday.
See, that's one of the fun things about this whole scenario, because for as intelligent as Getz is, now everybody does overthink every once in a while and leave a hole to where you can. But I think Al's kind of like left a hole to where you could drive an APC. Sorry about that. An APV through there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's stepped up into an area that, I mean, I've looked at Sal, I've watched Sal. Sal's more seasoned than I am. I would say he's quicker and more high flying. But I mean, there's an easy solution to that. Sal's not stronger than me. He can't outstrike me. I can take him down and I can ground him out, ground and pound. And I mean, if I had a Mount Rushmore of managers, there'd be Bobby the Brain Heenan, Gary Hart, and Jim Cornette. I've got one of the 3 standing on my side of the ring to neutralize Al Getz Saturday night. And I'm sure that hell by osmosis I ought to gain something by Jim Cornette just standing out there.
Oh, definitely.
So Sal and Al, they put themselves in a spot that I don't think they're intending on being on Saturday.
Loaded question. How much coercion did it take on your behalf to get Cornette to agree to come out to ringside with you?
Well, he was going to be there to do the Cornette experience. And once the talk started, apparently Al, having the charm that he's known for, he's rubbed Jim wrong in the past. So really and truly, once they got to drop the name Al Getz, Al's just got a face that people love to punch and hopefully put a tennis racket across. And didn't take a whole lot after that.
Now, lo and behold, when we're talking about the Louisville Slugger, Jim Cornette, and that blasted tennis racket, the question has never been answered as to whether or not the tennis racket is loaded or not. And I know you're not going to divulge anything on that because I know you and Cornette have had a discussion about it. But, I've thought about something in recent days. Could it just be that Cornette is that talented with the swing to where it may not have to be loaded, but you wouldn't doubt that it might be?
Could be. I guess everybody's got to buy a ticket and find out whenever Al gets cracked across his big forehead Saturday night with it.
Are you going to try to sit in on the Jim Cornette experience this weekend?
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, on top of, I've got a huge love for professional wrestling in itself, and I listen to his show weekly. So, yeah, I'd love to be sitting there live and in person to hear him. And he's an entertaining guy. I mean, I love his stories and everything else. That's what I love about those the Cornette experience in the shows. Is it for me myself, I look at it as an opportunity, like to get to have what would be missed out road trips I possibly could have had with those guys back in their heyday.
Now, let me run these down real quick, because this coming Saturday night, November the 7th, in Carrollton, Georgia, at the Central Elementary School, the Jim Cornette experience, everything going on. It's going to be you and Sal Renaro. Cornette will be in your corner. Getz will be in Renaro's corner. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Jimmy Rave taking on Payne in a bounty match. Bounty placed on the head or the career of Jimmy Rave by Al Getz. You've got Calm Like a Bomb Pandora taking on Kiera Hogan. AJ Steele taking on Tommy Too Much. Fry Daddy taking on Romeo, the French Sensation. Ace Haven and Charles Sanders taking on DP3 and Britt Jackson. Plus, there may be another surprise or two in there somewhere. Out of the matches that I've racked off, which one are you going to be trying to pay the most attention to throughout the night? Which is going to have your attention?
Jimmy Raven Payne. I mean, that, like I talked about, I mean, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Jimmy for the 3 wars we've been through together. And, I mean, I hadn't lost sight of that Peachstate Heritage title. I mean, that's a title that means a lot to me, and I want to get it back. I've got 4 goals over the next 6 months, and that one is regaining the Peachstate Heritage title. Tommy Too Much is carrying a title that I feel really belongs to me. And Wrestle America's holding that tournament to their first inaugural title. I'd like to have that also, and feel like I've got a strong chance at it. But Saturday night's what kicks off. It's the 4th of my goals. It really is the primary one. I've got to get out from underneath Al Getz. So that's the first and foremost goal Saturday night.
Now, going into this Saturday night, at this point, there's no love lost between you and Renaro. But by the same token, I know that there has been some respect in previous days. How well has the situation with Getz affected that respect with Renaro?
I mean, as far as an athlete, it hasn't changed. As far as a guy, I mean, Sal will find out. He can think that he's a cock and walk right now in Getz eyes, but he'll end up in the same spot as me. Anything that he gains, he'll lose in the end. And that's up to Sal to find out for himself. But as far as a guy I got to be across the ring from in the fight, I mean, yeah, I always have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody that I'm getting in there with. And the style's not a slouch. I mean, you know, he's like I said. I mean, I think he's quicker. He's got more experience than I do. But I think I bring enough tools to the game, though. You know, Saturday night, I can neutralize all that and come out on top.
I want to get your insight on one match in particular right off the top of my head, and that is going to be the match that is finally going to take place under the banner of Peachstate Wrestling Alliance. AJ Steele taking on Tommy Too Much. Now, Tommy is going to have America in his corner, but putting everything in play, what do you look for out of this match?
A long night for Tommy. Did you see, I mean, AJ's a guy that I can't name the exact number of times I've been in the ring with him, but we've about split him down the middle for wins and losses, and he's a tough dude. I mean, giant mountain of a man, and every time, and he's agile too. I mean, that's the thing. AJ's a guy that he's not just a dude that he's going to hit you with a lot of power and everything while you're in there fighting him. But I mean, he's also a guy that he can move. And you know, that being said, though, you know, Tommy's been playing some mind games and everything. I saw him today. He had a promo online talking about AJ and lifting weights and how he had a game plan for neutralizing all that. And Tommy's kind of like to take a quote from Billy the Kid and Young Guns. There's more than one slip between a cup and a lip, and Tommy always seems to find that slip. So you can't ever discount him either.
And you got to be careful with America being out there. You know, after the last PWA show, we had a nice little roundtable discussion between myself, Wicked Nemesis, Mark Mabo Bowman, and Shane Noles. And we were talking about the different manager personalities that were out there. And I made the comment very clear. I have a lot of respect for what America Strong is doing right now. But I don't classify her as a manager. I don't classify her as a valet either. Not by any stretch. I pretty much classify her as a hired gun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she doesn't. She probably gets tired of comparison, but I mean, look at China.
Yeah,
I mean, she was never looked on as a person that was just out there to be like you said, be a female valet or be a manager. I mean, she was somebody that could really lay a shot in and change the whole tide of a match for you.
I would be afraid she could military press me.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it far off. Yeah, I'm thinking she's probably not far behind in the bench press than what I am. That's a big girl.
Yeah, and that's one thing AJ's going to have to look out for because we've seen in previous days, America does not have a problem interjecting herself into a physical situation.
No, not at all. I don't know though. AJ doesn't look like he wouldn't. He'd shy away from. He might not close his hand. I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ backhand her across the floor either.
That would be a collision that a lot of people would sit back and go, "Holy cow!"
Yeah.
And
yeah, no doubt.
Because in my book, AJ Steele is just a tank, plain and simple. But you said it perfectly when you said he is more agile than you would than most people will surmise. Because the man can go. He's not afraid to go to the air, and for a man his size, it's kind of like, did he just do that? And he 9 times out of 10, yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean he's every bit of pushing 300 pounds, and I know for a fact he's drop kicked me dead in the mouth more than once.
Now, before I let you run, and like I said, I hope you've got the upcoming one set and ready because I'm going to ask you to go shameless in a second. Are there any, not just in Georgia, but around, because we're paying attention on this show to everything that's going on, whether it be in Alabama and Georgia, Ring of Honor, Paragon Pro, Impact, GFW, WWE, all of the above. If there was a situation right now that you'd love to be interjected into the middle of, or a program with one person who's on, whether it be on a localized level or a national level right now, who would you really like to work with?
Oh, God. This guy, and I'm bad with the names. I've been watching a lot of New Japan World, and some of the more kind of hard-hitting guys over there, the brawlers, the guys that work a strong style. I can't ever think of his name. The guy that he comes out, he's got blonde hair and he wears a chain around his neck and everything. And there's guys like that always think that he looks like that'd be a guy that'd be. It's probably sucked the next day, but he'd be fun as hell to get in there and just fight like hell with for the night. I don't know. New Japan's always my answer, just because it's the thing that I love so much. It's kind of like what I appreciate about Peachstate and NWA Atlanta, and West America. I mean, a lot of the places around Georgia that I'm at, they got a good mix. You've got you guys that they get in there and they have kind of what I always call the car crash matches, where they're, it's high flying and everything. And then you get the guys like me where we'll just, we wrestle, and it's more of an older style of wrestling. It's a good mix, and that's what I love. I mean, that's what I, if I'm going to choose to watch something, what I like. So, I mean, if I could interject myself into anything, hell, if I could just put myself in the middle of that roster and do whatever they saw me fitting in, it would be awesome.
And I know that the second you get over there, you're going to mail me a Ribera jacket.
Absolutely. You bet your ass on that one. Yeah, if I ever make a thing, you'll get a Ribera jacket.
Game of the week upcoming. I'm going to ask you for a pick real quick, and you may not have a vested interest in it. You may not have the dog in the fight, but I want to hear what you got to say. Number 2 ranked LSU taking on number 4 ranked Alabama. Who you got?
Oh, LSU. I got family in Louisiana, and I mean, generally once Georgia gets to a point in the season where they are right now, they pretty much broke my heart and pulled it out, stomped on it, and gave it back to me. I kind of give up on them until I wait to the end of the season. Here they're not going to fire Mark Richt again, and then start paying more attention to LSU.
Were you surprised that Carolina pulled out the win last night?
I actually didn't watch anything last night. Who did they play last night?
Oh, Lord, dude. They actually had a really good one against the Indianapolis Colts. Came down to, I believe, in overtime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did see something on it. They're 7-0. I mean, that's a guy that, like, as far as an athlete, he's a stud, but just a guy that I've always wondered mentally if he'd get it together as an NFL quarterback. To see Cam Newton doing that, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Who were you pulling for, Royals or Mets?
I pulled for the Royals on that one. A buddy of mine that my brother and I played ball with in high school used to play for the Royals, so that would just because of that hometown attachment and for the underdog, I'd pull for the old Rocky Balboa Royals.
I had Royals in 6. I missed it by 1. I hate it when that happens. I got the right team, just wrong number of games. And it's kind of like I had the running gag this past weekend with a lot of my friends. And I would, especially those who are true football fans and some who like to play fantasy and who will make a friendly wager every once in a while. Anytime we'd bring up college football for this past weekend, I'd always act so ticked off. And it's like, dude, what's wrong? I said, well, I happen to know for a fact Alabama's not going to cover again. It's like,
but you got, I mean, LSU's a team that, like, my brother and I always talk about that. They're like watching a Rocky Balboa movie, like a Rocky movie, every single weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be a knockdown, drag out. Don't get up and leave the TV because if you do, you're probably going to regret it. I mean, that's like the Falcons this Sunday coming up short. I mean, I came in there and they were just getting smoked by Tampa Bay.
I know.
And they almost pulled it out at the end. I mean, it was a heartbreaker, but I mean, in the end, it was a good game.
Do me a favor. What you got coming up on the calendar?
I have got this weekend, obviously, I've got Peachstate Wrestling Alliance with Jim Cornette in my corner versus Sal Renaro. Facing November 14th, the French sensation Romeo in Locust Grove. That was one I just actually saw in the maps last night, and I got pretty excited about that. November 21st, I've got Wrestle America in Barnesville. Not sure of the opponent yet. November 28th, I've got Peachstate Wrestling Alliance back in Carrollton. December 5th, Continental Championship Wrestling in Alabama. I'm not sure about the 12th. I think I'm back in NWA Atlanta on the 12th. December 18th and 19th. December 18th, I've got Wrestle America at Griffin, Georgia for Wrestle America. December 19th, Barnesville, Georgia for Wrestle America. And then January, I think I'm back to NWA Atlanta and Peachstate on the swapping out on the alternate weekends and some Wrestle America sprinkled in between.
And how can everybody catch you on the web, social media?
Tyson Dean on Instagram, Tyson Dean on Facebook, at the Tyson Dean on Twitter.
Wait a minute, do I have you on Instagram?
I don't know.
Checking.
You should.
I was about to say the same thing right back at you. It's like, come on, I'll get a one-liner in there sooner or later. Yeah, at Fast Eddie Lane.
I'm on my game today, man.
I can tell.
I'd been up most of the night. Everything, thinking my son was going to be born the night before. He's been the little man allowed me a little bit of sleep today, so I'm good.
Congratulations on that one, because I know sleep can be really hard to come by sometimes.
It's a treasure and appreciated around this house.
Oh, yeah. Tyson, it's always a pleasure to have you on board, and don't be a stranger. You know the door's always open, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, professional wrestling star and good friend, the reflection of perfection, Tyson Dean, right here on Beyond Ringside. Back to basics. Hang tight. Going to be a little bit of an extended break, but when we come back, going to be joined by my tag team partner on Saturday morning, Shane Noles. Also, going to be joined by the legendary Louisville Slugger, Mr. Jim Cornette himself, right here on Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. Stay tuned.